Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hello Word. I'm your host, Alex, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for another exciting exploration of the English language. Today, our word of the day is cold. Cold is an A1 level adjective that means low temperature. It's a word we use all the time, especially when talking about the weather. Let's dive into what cold really means and how we use it. So, when we say something is cold, we're describing something with a low temperature. It can be anything from a cold drink to a cold day. Think about it. If you open the refrigerator, you might say, "It's cold in here." Or, if you go outside in winter, you might say, "It's a cold day." Pretty straightforward, right? Now, let's look at some synonyms for cold. Synonyms are words that have similar meanings. A good synonym for cold is chilly. For example, instead of saying the water is cold, you could say the water is chilly. Another synonym is freezing. Freezing implies an even lower temperature than cold. You might say, "It's freezing outside. I need to wear a hat and gloves." And let's not forget the word icy, which is especially useful when describing something covered in ice. The roads are icy this morning, so be careful driving. So, we have chilly, freezing, and icy as synonyms for cold. Each has a slightly different nuance, but they all convey the idea of a low temperature. Now, let's flip things around and look at antonyms for cold. Antonyms are words with opposite meanings. The most obvious antonym for cold is hot. If something is hot, it has a high temperature, the opposite of cold. For example, the coffee is hot compared to the ice cream is cold. Another antonym is warm. Warm implies a moderately high temperature, not as extreme as hot. You might say, "The soup is warm," or "I prefer a warm bath instead of a cold shower." And a final antonym is scorching. Scorching suggests an extremely high temperature. The desert is scorching during the day. So, we have hot, warm, and scorching as antonyms, painting a contrasting picture to our word cold. Now, let's explore how cold is used in everyday life. We use it to describe the weather, like, "It's going to be a cold night tonight," or "The winter in Minnesota is very cold." We use it to describe food and drinks, like, "I'd like a cold glass of water," or "This cold pizza is delicious." We even use it figuratively to describe someone's personality, although that's a slightly more advanced usage. You might say someone has a cold heart, meaning they are unemotional or unkind. But for now, let's stick to the literal meaning of low temperature. Here are some more usage examples. The cold wind was biting at my face. She wrapped herself in a blanket to ward off the cold. The cold metal felt uncomfortable against my skin. He caught a cold after being out in the rain. The cold truth is sometimes hard to accept. And here are some phrases that use the word cold. To get cold feet, which means to become nervous or scared before an important event. To leave someone out in the cold, which means to ignore or exclude someone. Cold as ice, which emphasizes an extremely low temperature or lack of emotion. Remember, cold is an adjective that describes low temperature. It has synonyms like chilly, freezing, and icy, and antonyms like hot, warm, and scorching. We use it in countless everyday situations, from describing the weather to the temperature of our food and drinks. It's a foundational word in the English language, and mastering its usage will greatly improve your comprehension and communication skills. That brings us to the end of today's episode. I hope you found this exploration of the word cold helpful and informative. Thank you for tuning in to Hello Word. Before you go, I have a small favor to ask. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your support helps others find our show and continue their English language journey. It really makes a difference. And one more thing, I'd love to see you using the word cold in your own sentences. Share your creations as a comment under this video. I'm looking forward to reading them. Until next time, keep learning, keep practicing, and keep saying hello word.